Audio.etc is proudly supported by Auto Sound and Security. Good morning guys, how's it going? James here from Audio.etc. Today I have a Toyota MR2. It is a 1990 MR2 and I'm doing a full sound system outstallation. So as opposed to putting a bunch of stuff in installation, I'm taking stuff out. Outstallation, you get where I'm going with? Please excuse my dad jokes, but it's the only ones I've got. So yeah, this MR2 apparently quite a while ago, before I even worked here, had a big sound system installed into it, and the customer has kept it as is for a long time and has brought it back, and she's getting it all taken out. Apparently it's possibly going to be going into her next car, which of all the cars is a Jaguar. We'll see how that goes. We don't know what model it is or what year it is, but fingers crossed it's an old one, not a new one. Anyway, I have to take out a whole bunch of stuff in this car. So what it's got, we've got an Alpine CDA 9887, which is in its day one of the best units you could buy. Very, very good unit. It's got like, I think some kind of preliminary built-in imprint. So this was very fancy in its time, but back before stereos had time alignment and all that stuff built in, this was the sort of thing you needed. So it's got that. I believe it has Alpine Type X components in the front doors. And behind this seat here, there we go, behind that seat, we've got an Alpine Type R 10-inch in a box, and underneath 2 Alpine PDX amps. I think that is everything that there is. I'm also going to try and get out as much of the cabling as I can because it's quite decent cabling, or the RCAs are anyway. Yeah, my job today is pretty much just literally get as much stuff out of the car as you can. Possibly this car is going to the wreckers. Possibly, I don't know if it's getting sold on or what, but either way, all the sound system has to come out. And I thought, that's something I don't do very often. That might be interesting. You guys might want to see that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Sounds good, by the way. I had to listen before and it sounds freaking decent. Those PDX amps are so good looking. I might as well start setting up some time lapses and start taking this car apart. This video is probably not going to be very long because there's not going to be much I have to figure out how to get it in the car. Getting stuff out of the car is much easier. Sweet. So I got the stereo out and its loom. Disconnected the power wire from the battery. That shroud I had to take out, and I'm just taking the glove box out as well. And I've found up above the glove box here is the crossover. Looks like for the both the crossovers. 1, 2 for the front speakers. What's also interesting is the the stereo itself was being powered off somewhere else. Like the permanent wire is here and it must be running in this loom all the way down to somewhere. Oh, I see what they've done. They've run to, here it is, they've got a fuse and they've tapped onto a good permanent power supply for it, because I believe this MR2 had a factory premium sound system because it's got this funny little Toyota plug, and the only wires in the factory loom that they used were the aerial remote and the accessories. So I'd say premium sound system originally, now the only wires you could use, so they had to go and get their own permanent power supply from up under here. I'm getting to, I got the sub box out. As I suspected, there were screws through the bottom of the sub box and the back of it, so I had to take the sub out to get to 2 screws there holding it down and 2 screws in the back of it holding it to the rear wall, and that has exposed the tops of the amps and all the wiring. Bit of excess RCA there. I wonder if I can take this off now. Oh yes I can. Is there a screw in there? I thought there wasn't. Oh, there is. There we go. And now this thing comes off. It's just a little trim. So now what I can start doing is getting the amps out and the rest of the wiring. We're getting there. The reason I had to take all that off is because the RCAs are ran really well along the top of here. So now I can get out this last screw here so that I can lift this up and get to the RCAs. Oops, best those. Now, there we go, that just lifts up and comes out like that. There we go. RCAs. I wonder if I can pull those through. Sweet. So how are these mounted and everything like that? I wonder, oh, it made a sound. Probably screws. Yeah, so it looks like I have to take the attachment screws that are holding this one to that one out first, and then I would imagine, looks like it's just held on with these back straps actually. I don't think it's even secured to the floor. No, it's not. Look at that. In fact, I could just take those back straps off and slide it out. Let's try that. Alright, so now does this just slide out? Looks like it might. Yep. There we go, pretty much. So I can just unplug stuff. Speaker, RCA, subwoofer, cable, RCA, and those power cables. And that's it. Yeah, so I got the amps out and found this distribution block in here for power. So that's the main power wire going in, then just two 8 gauges coming off out of it, and then the grounds are under here. That's one way to do grounds. I think the guy I replaced that used to work here did his grounds like that. Right, do you remember whose grounds those were?
Lots of screws around it.
Yeah. Yeah, we just do that. Take that out, get the distribution block out, and we'll be almost done. Oh, it went pretty far. It's just gonna, oh yeah, there we go. That's the power wire, and that is officially the amplifier and stereo completely out. Just got the speakers to go, and I suppose I should put some of the car back together, shouldn't I? Before I give it back to the customer, I'll be like, oh, do you want your car put back together? Oh yeah, if you don't mind. Okay, so I got the car completely back together. Obviously the seat, the center console, the dash is all back together. Removed the stereo from the brackets and put all that stuff back in. These are just the wires. These ones go through the grommet and into this door, and those ones go off that side to that door, so I'll pull those out when I get round to them. I've also tightened up and fixed the battery terminal connections and on the battery here, because particularly the positive one was quite loose. It was just sort of flopping around on the terminal. So I fixed that up. So yeah, now I'm on to the doors. Let's take these off. Looks like we got no screw in there, a screw in that thing that's already cracked. Screws down the bottom, one there. Okay, let's see how this goes. And here's our woofer. Toyota is already out, by the way. It's a nice fancy Alpine one. Doesn't have any writing on the back. And there's the woofer. I thought these were factory woofers when I looked through the door card at them, because they look like they're just paper cones, but apparently they're quite good ones. They're SPX 7 something or other, I can't remember. Actually, SPX 177R. So they are Type X, but they're just old style paper cones, so they're pretty old. Looks like they're held on with 4 PKs. Oh, and this whole door's been sound deadened as well. This is some old sound deadening. This is that stuff that I put in my in the trunk of my Legacy, you know, the spare crap that we had heaps of that I decided to use just because, you know, why not? This is old stuff. And there we go, got the speaker out, pulled the wires through. I'm obviously not taking the sound deadening off. That's stupid, don't put that in. So yeah, factory wiring's still there. Tweeter, not much going on the back. SPX 177R, component two-way system, made in China. Okay, not Japan. Tell you what, this crossover is very, very nice looking though. Those components look like the nicest part of the whole kit. Almost looks new. Lots of tweeter adjustments, +2 all the way to -3. Oh, and over here, phase link. We've got signal link and phase link, lots of stuff you can adjust. Okay, that's one door done. I'm going to put this door card back on, move over to the other side. Once I've done that, the car will be done. And yeah, we'll look at it all. Alright, there we go guys, the MR2 is done. I have removed pretty much the entire sound system and I've laid it all out here because I want to have a look at it in close detail. Just like, you know, I'm just kind of interested because it's older gear. By the way, this stuff was all installed in 2007, about 5 years before I started car audio, and it's really interesting to see how certain things have changed and how certain things haven't. And also because I thought some of you guys might be interested, you know, I am aware that a lot of my YouTube audience is a bit older than me and probably been in car audio for longer than me, so you guys might recognize a lot of this stuff. I think the thing that I'm most fascinated by is these Alpine Type X speakers. Because Type X, I don't think in the 5 years that I've been here, we have installed a set of Type X speakers, unfortunately. There's just been other brands out there that we've gone for when it comes to the premium sort of end of car audio. I'm not sure how much these would have cost, but you know, if there were anything, I don't know, like we've always got Focal and everything like that. But it's interesting because the Type R subwoofer looks exactly the same as what a current Type R subwoofer does. They've still got these jumper lead thingamadoodakis, 4 ohm, and then you jump them together. The top is exactly the same with this funny rubber surround. Only thing that's probably different is at some point they changed from this grey style to that sleek black sort of look. It was almost charcoal coloured. But it's interesting because this has been in a box the whole time. I don't know what this is on the side of it. It almost looks like lime scale, but it's weird, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what this stuff on the side of the magnet is because it's been in the box the whole time. Possibly, I don't know, because I noticed that when I took this out of the box that there was a lot of dust lying around, so whoever installed it didn't really clean it before they put it all in and everything like that. They kind of maybe did a bit of a rush job. Maybe that has something to do with it, I don't know. So that hasn't really changed much, apart from the colour of the cone. The Alpine PDX amps are still current. I think this is like 1 generation old. We installed a set of these speakers into a set of these amplifiers into a Jimny. How many years ago? Maybe 2 years ago, 2 or 3, we did a Jimny with these, pretty much these exact amps. This is a PDX 4.100 and a PDX 1.600. So they had a 4-channel powering just the 2 front speakers, not active, just literally only using the two channels of it, only half of it. I don't know why. And then obviously the monoblock amp. I'm guessing that's a 4 by 100 watts RMS and potentially a 1 by 600 watt RMS amplifier, and they're stackable. But yeah, these amps aren't that old, like they haven't changed much. Also I noticed they've got some scratch marks on the top of them. Those there look like where screws have gone into it because the box for the subwoofer was, as you guys know, was on top of here, and there were screws holding it to the material that it was sitting on, and I reckon those screws have gone through and scratched that amp. And also there's this one here. I don't know what that's from. but control panels are behind here. But yeah, otherwise these are awesome amps, and it's great. It's interesting to see how they haven't really evolved that much since 10 years ago, 11 years ago. These were 2007, it's 2018 now, Jesus, 10 years old. So that's pretty much the same. These are pretty much the same. These look way different. So these are the Alpine Type X speakers that were in there. As I said before, they're the SPX 177R Type X. And the crossover is absolutely beautiful. Look at that, that's a thing of beauty. I love it, that's gorgeous. Tweeter looks pretty decent. They've got that signature Type X little domey thing in the middle. If it would focus, there we go. They're not, I mean, they don't really look like anything special. There's no real color, I guess, to see any of the shape of it, but it looks to me, it's gonna be hard to pick up on camera, but looking through the grill there, I can see it's like a W-shaped silk dome cone. So the tweeter is silk dome and it goes like that sort of thing. But these speakers, these woofers, at first glance you wouldn't think that's a Type X really, would you? I don't know. I haven't been around that long, and from the back, sure, it looks more like a Type X, but the front, I was just so surprised to see that it was like paper cone, you know? Like this just looks like paper mache. Looks cheap. I like the surround, but this part, like, come on Alpine. This part looks cheap and old. So it's funny, they look beautiful, and these look eh. And then the stereo, the CDA 9887, which in its day would have been like one of the best ones you could buy. It's got like the imprint stuff built into it, which back then was a big deal. Back in the day, I'm sure you guys know more than me, but back in the day, time alignment and like 9-band EQs would have been a huge thing. Now they're just standard built into stereos. And crossovers as well, I'm sure this will probably have some crossovers built in. Triple pre-outs, I bet the high voltage. Of course, AINet was the thing that everyone was doing back then to link your CD changes and potentially some AINet amplifiers. And some nice RCAs as well. Monster XLN cables, these are really good at noise reduction. Yeah, that's all the gear, guys. It's really interesting. Ooh, scratches on the side, Jesus. It doesn't surprise me that these have big scratches on the side, because that hole that they were slotting through from the front, it looked all good because the carpet was wrapped around, but looking from behind, the metal was like burred and funny shaped. It wasn't nicely cut or filed or anything like that. It was real kind of nasty. It looked like they'd cut the big rectangular hole with pliers, if you know what I mean, like the whole back and forth, rip a piece of metal out of there sort of deal. Not really professional. But if that's how things were done back in the day, maybe, I don't know. Anyway guys, that's the system that I just ripped out of that 1990 MR2. Bit of a different video today. Hope it wasn't too boring seeing me take something out and not installing something. So there you go. Let me know what you thought of this in the comments. Let me know if you guys maybe had any of this gear, or if you still got it and you still rock it and love it. Yeah, I'm just interested to see what you guys think of this. I was almost about to call it old gear, but I'm sure sometimes I'm blissfully unaware of just how long some of you guys have been doing car audio for, and the fact that I've been doing it for 5 years is like, But anyway, thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Choose to be happy, and I will catch you in the next video. Kite Ano.